Hey, it's Matthew David Hurtado, CEO of Complete Ascentials and Minister of Allowing, and we're going to talk about how to have energy. Now, what is this all about? Well, it's the culmination of over 12,000 hours of research that I spent when I was bedridden and bankrupt with Lyme disease for almost 2 years. I was very, very ill for that period. I was about 50 pounds lighter than I am now, and I had severe chronic fatigue to the point of maybe being up 3 to 4 hours a day. So I know what it's like to have no energy, and I know what it's like to rebuild myself to training like a pro athlete again. So what I want to share with you are the deep, dark, hidden secrets that many of the profiteers on the internet don't want you to know, because much of this stuff is going to come down to the mind-body connection when it comes to having energy and unlocking the energy that's already within you. And I'm going to show you some hidden keys that can really help you catapult things to the next level if you take this seriously. So let's get to the training and let's go over this. I have some notes here. Now, why are you going to want to do this? Well, let's put it this way. If you're like me, maybe now I'm healthy, strong, and well. I train like a pro athlete. I'm 42 years old. I do 2 workouts a day, 5 to 6 days a week, 5 miles run, jog, sprint, and then I do a weight training session. And I do that all the time because it makes me feel alive, because movement is the key to life. Movement. I want to show you how to move fast and move through life with vitality. Now, maybe you're not feeling so well like I was. Maybe you're tired. Maybe you have issues. Well, these are the things I discovered when I was going from that place, and I reversed it all. So I want to give you this on a silver platter so you have this. So that's what this is all about and why it's important. And let's see. Let's get into it. How about we just get into it, all right? Now, I've got 5 things I want to share with you, 5 keys. So number 1 is minerals are the currency of life. You see my company, Complete Ascentials, you see back there, I'm actually at the warehouse right now, and I'm filming in my warehouse just because I was wanting to show you the products in the video. These products changed my life. And you know what? Maybe this is a product pitch right here because I have to endorse what worked for me. And I want to make it real simple for you. Dr. Joel Wallach calls minerals the currency of life. The body is bioelectric by nature, all right? Currency has to flow. In order for you to absorb vitamins, for hormones to work properly, in order for anything else to function, the late Dr. Fred Bell said that minerals and enzymes are the top of the food chain. So minerals are the currency of life. So let me show you the ones I use right here. Key number 1, you can see currency of life. And this website has a nice overview of everything I want to share with you. If you're really serious about this, I think the best investment you can make in your body is to give it what it needs. So monatomia.com, monatomia.com. It's well worth your time to get the information, whether you buy or not, doesn't matter. Get the information, because the soil has been deficient since the 80s. You see, what happens is they started taking minerals out of the soil and not replacing them. And then that's the same time that the snack industry began emerging. So what happens in animals like horses is when they're deficient, they start cribbing. They get hungry and they just start eating the wood. Well, guess what? If you're cribbing because you're severely deficient, then you're going to start craving more and more and more, but you're not getting what you need. So you can't get the minerals in the food supply in adequate amounts. So here's what we use. I use the Complete Ascentials Magnesium and Electrolyte Pro. It's in an angstrom ionic formulation. And this is so that it gets a 99% absorption in the body, and it also has fulvic acid for tertiary support. Now, I do a very unique thing with these, and I blend them in a blender with magnets on it, and that creates monatomics. I'll tell you more about that at monatomia.com and about why it's so critical, why it's so important. I also add in the brown seaweed extract, the magic formula, and this is, again, these are all natural. And then I also use what we call the DNA Evolve. And you can find more about that at dna-evolve.com. Those are the 4 things that I use without fail or exception. And what I've discovered after doing this for well over a decade is that this breaks it down to the simplistic form of what it takes to get my body, moving fast. And so that's key number 1. I wanted to share that with you. Now, key number 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. We're going to get a little bit off the beaten path. It's not really the physical thing, so to speak. It's not going to be about products. It's not going to be about things that you're going to be consuming, okay? It's going to be about the mind-body connection. Believe it or not, the mind-body connection, you have more influence than you could possibly imagine over this. I promise you. So key number 2 is having a daily checklist. Now, here's what I mean by this. Most people are living a life so far from what brings them excitement and joy that they're perpetually just downtrodden and they just aren't happy with life. And so what I like to do is take every task or activity that you do during the day and make a line down the middle, plus and minus, and rate the action that you do. For instance, this is what most people's day look like. Something like this. Oh, I got up, I had to do the dishes, I had to get ready for work, I went to work, and then finally I did a workout afterwards, and then I came home, and I had to haul the kids to karate, to soccer, to do this and that, and then finally I did a little cleaning, and then I got to read at night. So what you see here is that they actually had just a little bit of selfish time to pursue the fastest path to their joy, and that's about, I find it represents about 20% of most people's day. Now, if you live a life like that, what you're doing is you're breaking what I call the 3 keys. And I got this from a therapy called Mickle therapy and reverse therapy. These are 2 therapies that are talk therapies, mind-body, that I took when I had chronic fatigue syndrome. And what it is, it's designed to help correct the mind-body disconnect that's going on. So look at these 3 keys right here. See these 3 keys have everything to do with this list. So look at this. This is Dr. David Mickle made this up. Now, number 1 is to put yourself first, all right? You see, if you don't take care of yourself, you have nothing left to give anyone else. Number 2 is to have boundaries with loving disallowance. Well, if you're letting everyone run over you all day, every day, and you're not really being number 3, asserting yourself in the moment, as in if somebody offends you, you state what you feel, like, hey, I feel you did me wrong or something like that. If you don't say that, your body will speak so loudly that you don't need to say it. See, I used to not put myself first. My day used to look a lot like this, where I'd get up, I'd have to clean up a bit, get ready, go to work all day. I did not like it. And then I'd finally do a workout. I feel great, come home, and then I have to do these necessary evils. And finally, at the end of the night, I'd do some study time, and that was positive again. But most of my day was set up by breaking that first key, not putting myself and my emotional needs first, to get emotional needs first, satisfaction in life, right? And number 2, boundaries. I didn't let boundaries be in place. I was letting a boss tell me what to do all the time and run me over, always correcting, always disciplining me, etc., etc. And I wasn't speaking up for myself. I was biting my tongue. I was biting my tongue so I could keep my job. You see, this is why I ended up having severe chronic fatigue, okay? This is more powerful than you know, all right? These are very, very powerful insights. I promise you, don't take this lightly, because your emotions can speak so loudly for you that you can be wrapped up in this whirlwind of symptoms and you won't know how you got there. But see, over time, it gradually was getting worse and worse and worse. Maybe it started off by just being a little tired, and you started to maybe have a little ache and a pain here and there, and then all of a sudden you started to just be like, oh, I don't have any will to do anything anymore, and then you just couldn't get out of bed over time. I'm telling you, this is how things can play out. Now, number 4 is going to be conflicts. Conflicts. All right? Now, with conflicts, I want to show you the 5 conflicts that are involved in a study called German New Medicine. It's a very powerful study. And this is also mind-body stuff. Dr. Hammer discovered this, and he had a 92% success rate with patients with a certain type of disease. And I won't mention it because the purpose of this is not to heal, prevent, treat, cure, or diagnose disease. I'm not here for that. I'm here to give you information as a minister, as a reverend. I'm giving you spiritual food to nourish your soul. Okay, that's the disclaimer I want to tell you. Now, if you want to do something really cool, I want you to text the word complete, like our company name, complete, to the number on the screen, 608-530-6658. And I have a very special report that I want to send you. And I want to share with you the breakdown of how all of these keys come together, and you can put them into your daily habits, and you can get yourself into alignment real quick. And if you're like me, you'll be experiencing, energy like you haven't felt in a long time. Now, for me, I thrive on energy. Everything is energy. Building companies, raising kids, being able to do things at 42 that I couldn't do when I was 20. I played hockey for 20 years. I'm in better shape today than when I played hockey. Believe it or not, at half my age. All right? This is how powerful the mind-body connection is. Now, here are the conflicts. Number 5, let's go down the line. Number 5 is like a survival conflict. All right? That's usually like, something's wrong with me. I can't make ends meet. I'm worried about the survival of myself or my offspring. Financially speaking, that can be another thing too. If you're worried about finances drying up, that's a conflict. Now, all of these conflicts have to be ordered up according to German New Medicine to create chronic fatigue and to create a fatigue state of well-being. Now, number 4 is self-devaluation. Maybe for instance, you're not making all the money you want to make, and so you started to devalue your own self-identity. And maybe number 3 is you feel displaced. Like, I don't know where I'm supposed to be, but it feels like I'm not where I'm supposed to be. And then number 2, maybe you feel a sense of direction loss. Now, in German New Medicine, they talked about this as the lost sheep syndrome. So the sheep loses its flock, and then it gets tired and has to lay down. And then when it finds its flock, it finds its direction, it gets up, and all of its energy comes back. See, all of these things can be ordered up by the brain like that in any circumstance in life that causes you to feel these emotional conflicts in the mind-body. Number 1 is a sense of powerlessness. Maybe you're consumed with fatigue now, and maybe you don't feel powerful anymore. So whenever I feel a state of chronic fatigue setting in, where I'm starting to get tired and I don't feel the joy of life and I don't feel like doing anything, I always look under the hood at all of these things. Am I getting my minerals? It's so critical. I've only had like 5 days or 6 days off in the past 7 years using these minerals, and that's usually when I'm traveling, because I can feel the difference after a day or two. Now, when I take these, an example is like my friend Nolan, who's a trained athlete, and he says, I used to run 3 to 5 hill sprints every day at full on, and he goes, one day I took your mineral kit, and he goes, and I said, I'm going to do this, and he's like, I started to feel better, and by the 3rd day, he goes, I ran 20 hill sprints. All right, so what happens is he saturated his body with something it had been chronically missing. Now, in the book, Never Be Sick Again, Raymond Francis, MIT-trained biochemist, who was 48 years old, by the way, according to his book, when he had 7 different diseases and he couldn't lift his head up from a table, he reversed all of them, and to the age of 70-something, when he wrote the book and said he had the heart of a 17-year-old, he reversed his entire state of chronic disease himself, okay? He talked about that there's only one disease, a malfunctioning cell, and there's only 2 pathways, deficiencies and toxicities. Well, we know everything we eat is practically toxic, but if we are deficient in the most critical fuel possible, the top of the food chain, enzymes, minerals, if we don't have that, then we can't absorb vitamins, okay? Then proteins, then hormones malfunction. All these things cascade down from there. So I go to the top of the food chain, and that's where I self-correct first. All right. How do I take these? I take 2 dropperfuls of each of these twice a day. All right. Now, when I'm training harder, I take a little more, but for maintenance, I take 2 dropperfuls of each of these twice a day. Just drink it with water and mix it with water. Drink it at mealtime. Take it with meals. Okay. The only contraindication is that if you don't take it with meals, the fulvic acid can cause a slight headache. So you take it with meals. That's it. Then I take 6 capsules at breakfast with the magic formula every day. And I take 1 dropper full of DNA Evolve once a day. And I take this about 8 weeks on, and I take 4 weeks off with this one. Now, I don't do the 2 dropperfuls a day. This bottle lasts me 2 months. This stuff is potent for me, so I use 1 dropperful a day. So that's how I do my regimen every single day for the past, 5 years straight. I've been doing this, and this is what I do to keep my game on top. And I've dialed this in, like I said, after well over 10,000 hours of research. I'm not telling you to believe anything I'm saying. I'm saying the proof is in the pudding. Number two is then I check and see, well, what does my day look like? Like I write down what I've been doing. All right. I get up. Am I following the fastest path to my joy and making that a habit? Or am I doing all the necessary evils that are before me as if it's somehow mandatory that I live somebody else's dream? See? If you're not following your own thing, then you're like the lost sheep. You lose your direction. And you can go down these 5 cascades. So then I look at my life and I say, all right, did I dial up all 5 of these? Do I feel like maybe money's tight? Maybe I'm starting to devalue myself. Maybe I'm not as good as I thought I was. Maybe I feel displaced. Am I doing the right thing? Geez, what am I going to do with the future direction? And then you start to feel a sense of powerlessness. Well, all you got to do is downplay one of these conflicts at any time, because the brain has to order all 5 of these to create a state of chronic fatigue, according to German New Medicine. So what I usually do is I quickly downplay one of these conflicts, whichever the easiest one is. For instance, I could do powerlessness. I know as a minister that God is the source of my life, that God is expressing, love as myself in every moment, and it's God's strength. The Holy Spirit is sustaining me. So I don't have to rest the burden on my shoulders. See, I can downplay the conflict of powerlessness right away, and that will collapse that whole constellation of conflicts. So that's how I do this. And then key number 5 I want to talk to you about, because I didn't get to that point yet, is to resolve the problems in your life with spiritual solutions. So the thing that I do these days most often is minister. I have a ministry called Allow Ministries, and I teach on prosperity. Prosperity is health, wealth, happiness, joy, all of the good things in life that the Holy Spirit, that God is constantly giving you. So why would you want to learn from me? Well, MatthewDavidHurtado.com, my name, has the 3-2-1 prosperity formula. I was bedridden and bankrupt in 2009 with Lyme disease. And from that state, I was able to manifest a 6-figure online income, then a 7-figure online income within a few short years, to when I went from living in a house with bugs in it that was abandoned to having an 8,000 square foot mansion that was a $5.5 million bill, driving exotic cars, 7-figure income, and most importantly, it did take me 6 full years, but I recovered 100% from Lyme disease to the point when I am absolute stellar health today. I'm telling you, that's by the grace of God. That's by spiritual prosperity laws. Now, these laws are not because Matthew tapped into them and Matthew's great. It's because they are existing, and anyone can tap into these. And that's why I share the wisdom of the Bible, and I break it down in a way that gives you the fruit that you're looking for. So you can check that out, the 3-2-1 prosperity formula. Solve your problems in life so you don't keep creating all these conflicts, okay? Because conflicts are at the root cause of the mind-body issues in life, and we can drain our energy faster than anything when we're constantly worried, stressed, and in conflict. Now, number 6 is I do a intensive workshop that lasts 3.5 days. It's called the Spiritual Millionaire Workshop, and I teach a process called self-entrainment technique, or doing sets. And that is a mind-body skill set that you can use to lock in the state of expectation, power, prosperity, and you can play at the highest level by changing your vibe, raising your vibration. These are possible. This has been around for a long time. A lot of the world's top, industry leaders like Tony Robbins and, you name it. I bet you Richard Branson, all these people have to know that state is the most powerful thing. State, as in state of being, is what allows you to tap into your full potential. So what I teach is how to master state. And once you learn how to master state, then it all goes down from there, because you'll manage your conflicts, you'll take care of yourself, and you will create at the highest level. So I hope you got value from this video. There's a lot in here, and I left a lot for you to go and do your own research. This is information only. This is not for you to take my advice and say, wow, he said so. I'm saying I've done my research, but I want to share it with you so you go do it. And I want you to have the energy to move fast through life, because life is amazing and you should be tapping into it at the highest level. Take care, and God bless.
Hello, I'm Julie with Allow Ministries on behalf of Matthew David Hurtado. Are you ready to end self-sabotage, procrastination, and distraction? Clarity, certainty, and a proven plan of action is what it takes to get anything you want in life. Training is the answer. Matthew David Hurtado's Spiritual Millionaire Workshop is the one-step solution that finally puts you in control of your destiny. What Matthew discovered about building a seven-figure business and perfect well-being when he was bedridden and bankrupt with Lyme disease is that mentorship is success without the wait. It works. At allowuniversity.com, you'll discover how to walk in victory. Learn how to prosper in every area with unstoppable daily habits and a step-by-step training to build your dream business immediately following the event, a success training for a lifetime of achievement. Walk in financial increase, living a life you love. Go to allowuniversity.com and say yes to your destiny.